What is up, everybody? Hope all is well. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Listen, make sure you tell your neighbors and your friends that the king is on. No, I am not doing no intro music because I'm so tired of getting flagged by Facebook. I'm so tired of getting flagged by YouTube. Everybody always trying to claim some music, even though I pay for it. So, anyways, here we are. We're here. We do have a few things that we're going to be discussing on today. What's up, y'all? Come on in the chat. Come on in the chat, peoples. Don't get nervous and scared. Just come on in. Come on in. Come on in. What's up? Hey, y'all. Hey, what's Kwamesha? What's going on? Hey, good evening. Praise God and things. So listen, y'all. I did drop the link in the chat. I mean, in the descriptions, just in case some of you all want to come on while we are discussing this. So this is going to be a great conversation tonight. I am actually going to enjoy it myself. So anyways, we're going to get started with the show. While I am waiting for everybody else to join, just take a moment to share the live. Let me see. Maybe I can put this wig on top. Ooh. Girl, I'm on the show. Don't do that now. I appreciate that, Kwame. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? Checking on a brother, seeing if I'm still alive. I know I'm bad about it, so you got to forgive me. Kind of to my head, not my heart. Anyways, give me a wig on. All right. So we're going to be talking about this tonight. It's so many things that we need to cover, that we need to discuss and go from there. I think everybody is in the state of what the hell when it comes down to this country. Kenneth, I see you in the back, so hold tight for me, okay? Can you get in some light? Get in some light for me, please. Thank you so much. Get in some light for me. Thank you kindly. Praise the Lord. Lynette, I did hear that Daryl passed. I talked about that on the show the other day. So just make sure you guys share the live. I'm trying to give everybody a chance to get here. Matter of fact, let me go text some folks and remind them. Push my wig on over to the side. All right. All right, so wait on the peoples of God to come over here. But yeah, so it's a lot of things. Yes, it is Friday. Stevie, if you want to join the chat, if you want to join the conversation, in the description is the link to join the conversation. We have a few things. Okay, I see they said give them a few minutes. Okay. I just want to discuss a lot of these people that are in position right now, which I just think that is absolutely crazy. Donald Trump, who is is the former president, now the current president. He ain't my president. Xavier, it's in the description, baby. Oh, no, it's not. I'm so sorry. I thought I put it there. My Lord. It is there. Matter of fact, it is there. Check the description. It's in the descriptions, babies. Candace Owens, who is a conservative commentator with a powerful voice on race and politics, which I think she is crazy as hell. But you know what? That's just my opinion. All right. Jennifer Gurlum, she is the U.S. Secretary of Energy, facing criticism on green energy policies. Did these people even work in any type of these positions before they even got into the office? I don't think so. Robert F. Kennedy is controversial independent candidate known for his anti-vax views. Pete Hegseth. Oh, I felt a wind blow on me. The Lord blowing on me, Jesus. Woo! Pete Hegseth, Fox News commentator, ex-military, strong on nationalism. Christy Noam, governor with recent scandal fallout and strong MAGA ties. Linda McMahon, former SBA head and Trump PAC leader. I'm just gonna tell y'all like this. For all of these people that are in office right now, this truly, and I mean truly, is a complete joke. Okay? This is truly a complete joke. So, Stevie, I need you to hit the link. I need you in on the Telemundo right now. I don't even understand how. You know what? I think Linda McMahon gave Donald Trump some money. You know, they've been cool anyways. I think Linda them gave Donald Trump some money, and that's just what it is. So I just feel like this is too much. It's too much. It's like y'all giving people jobs that don't need jobs. Praise the Lord. Hold on, who is this? Y'all giving folks jobs that don't need jobs, okay? They don't need jobs. Linda McMahon don't know nothing about education. The only thing that she know about education is how to educate a smackdown. That's what she know right there. That's what she know. Marcus, I'm coming. Hold on a second. I'm coming. Give me a second. She know how to educate a smackdown and how to pay the staff back there in the back.
Oh Lord.
All right. So we get ready to bring some people on. Marcus is coming. William is coming. Not William McCray, y'all. Not Beetlejuice. He not this show. Marcus!
What's up?
Bill!
Yeah.
Okay, what's wrong with your camera?
I don't know. I'm checking it now.
Okay.
No, why it's not working.
Jess and Kenneth! Hello.
Hey. Hello.
I got my classmates on here today. We finna cuts all the way up.
Hey, I'm gonna reconnect.
Wow.
Okay. So Jess is a school teacher, y'all. She is also my classmate, 2002. Y'all, we went to McKeel Academy. Same thing with Will. We went to McKeel Academy, graduated 2002. Jess is a school teacher. I ain't finna tell y'all where she work at.
Thank you.
Praise the Lord. I ain't finna tell you.
There's rules, man. There's rules.
There are rules to this BS around here. Marcus, you are a school teacher too, right?
School counsel.
School counselor. Kenneth, what you do?
I am an educator. I am a school teacher. I'm also an actor and singer. And you and I share the same home state, unfortunately.
Well, shit, we just got all school teachers on here today. What is you doing in the Girard again?
This is my man cave. This is where I hang out all the time.
Okay. So,
Got
Jess,
a coffee machine and a toaster.
Oh my goodness. So listen, I think if you guys look in the private chat, it kind of gives you like a little breakdown of everybody. So if we want to we want to go through everybody really quick and just give our thoughts and opinions on all these folks. Since we have nothing but educators on here tonight, we can just stick to education. Because I think that's one of the major things that we're dealing with, and then we can just go from there. Does it work for everybody?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're the boss.
I know I'm the boss, you know what I'm saying? But I want to give everybody a chance to kind of say what they feel. I think Xavier is coming on too as well. Um, so so we already know that Donald Trump. I don't like to call him our president because he is not my president. I did not vote for him. Okay. I told everybody that this was going to happen, and it did. There he is. Hey, brother.
Hey, hey everyone.
Hey there.
I
Hey
think
bro,
How you doing?
my light skinned cousin Will. What's up?
What up, Darius?
Hey, hey everybody.
I
So
was just
let-
not looking at everybody's screen. I'm trying to. I need glasses more than anything.
Cynthia, the link is in the chat, so you can go ahead and click. You're in healthcare, so we're going to talk to you too. Xavier, I don't know what's going on with your connection, but baby, I can't click you to come on, so I'm going to need you to refresh and come back on. But in the private chat, everybody, is a description of everybody that we're talking about tonight, and then we can just go from there. Like I said, Donald Trump is the current asshole that's in the office. And I kind of want to be respectful, but then I don't want to be respectful because I feel like our country is going to hell in a handbasket, and we're almost on the verge of a depression and maybe even war. So I'm gonna leave the floor open to anybody who want to start. Right, y'all just introduce yourself, and then we just go ahead. Praise the Lord. Amen.
I'll go ahead and go first. Hello, everybody in the room, everybody that's in the chat. My name is Kenneth. I am an actor, a singer, and an educator. And I will share my comments after everybody else has introduced themselves. Thank you to my brother, to my friend Jives for the invitation. I do not take it for granted.
Appreciate it. Jess, you can go ahead.
Hey, I'm Jess. I'm a kindergarten teacher in Florida. Doing this for 23 years now, so it's seen the whole scope of things from when it used to be really good to where we're at now. So that's a fun conversation for us to have.
All right, well, I'm Marcus. I'm a high school counselor. And I'm gonna be straight up. Trump full of shit.
Yeah.
I mean, all I can see.
Darius.
Well, you all know me. I think everybody knows me. Jess and Kenneth, it's a pleasure to meet you all. And in a former life, I was Joan of Arc.
You know. So William had to refresh his Wi-Fi. Xavier is still trying to come on. So as soon as she said, no, baby, you're not here yet. Okay. Anyways, when they get here, we'll bring them on and we'll just keep going. But okay. So before we, tear apart Donald Trump, everybody here is in education for the most part. How do you all feel about the education system because it didn't just get here, like it was leading up to this, like especially like for the most part, I'm in Florida, Jess, William was in Florida, Darius is in Florida. We were here when this stuff was starting. So after Trump got out of office and that whole mess with Andrew Gillum, the Satan got in office and it just went to shit from that point. So it just, a lot of things were changing, especially with the colleges. And it just was a complete mess. And so, we're here. Just so much is changing, and they're saying it's based upon their Christian values. So, Jess, you're the only female so far on here, outside of Xavier, but she hasn't got on here yet. So I'm gonna let you go in and lead the pack.
I don't want to lead the pack. You're crazy, man. Somebody else go first.
Okay.
I'll go.
Kenneth,
I ain't got no problem with it. So I always when the Christian thing comes up, I always ask, what does that mean? Because if we want to go about biblical principles, you might want to use a different term. Um, and I'm not talking about people in this group. I'm talking about those that say, "Oh, I'm a Christian," or they have a Christian tag on their Instagrams or on their social medias. I tend to run the opposite direction, because if you have to tell me that you are a Christian by label, then that means that you're not. You're the complete opposite. And what we're seeing in the schools, even now, is that ideology trying to be pushed, where now they want to have the Ten Commandments and all of these things, these statues of things that they really don't believe themselves. It's all about control. That's what it is, and it's really interesting. But I got a little scoop on something, but I'll wait to divide that a little bit later.
Okay. Marcus, since you're a counselor,
Mhm.
what's your thoughts?
Well, I did used to teach before I became a counselor, so I've kind of been in education now, going on 14 years. And honestly, what I can say is things have changed, but there's an all-out war on HBCUs. There's an all-out war on minority students being educated. Um, when you put the WWE CEO in charge of education, who knows nothing, and I mean nothing about education, you have a problem. Right here in South Carolina, and I don't mind saying it, we have a superintendent of education who wasn't even qualified to run. The person that all teachers supported, backed, she was leaning more Democrat, but she was the person that everybody supported. Um, she lost to this lady simply because this lady was a Republican, South Carolina's big red state. This lady got her master's degree in 2 months just so that she could qualify to be the superintendent of education in South Carolina. And I remember the
How
teachers
you do
showing.
that?
Oh, it was on the news. It was on the news.
No,
The
no, I'm
news.
being serious. Like, how you get your master's degree
Oh,
in 2 months?
right. She
Hey,
went
you
to
have some
a college.
intelligent
She went
people.
to a college here in
You
South
know,
Carolina.
people don't grade tests that fast.
Right. Went to a college here in South Carolina. Got her master's in literally 2 months so that she could qualify to be the superintendent of education for South Carolina.
Oh wow.
The teachers went and protested to the state house. I was a part of that day. Like schools had to shut down because districts had to shut down because teachers did not come to work that day. Everybody went to the state house. They couldn't find enough subs to house they cover schools. Administrators weren't going to cover them themselves. But hell, half the administrators were down there with us protesting for the types of things that we needed, and yet this lady still won. The lady that educators, whether you were a Democrat or Republican, they all voted for this one lady to be the superintendent of education because it was all about, at that time, not a party, but about the kids. And South Carolina proved that they didn't care about the kids.
Hmm. Um. Just go ahead.
Well, with the whole religion thing and all, I mean, really, I just think it's being used as a method of pushing their ideas, because such a large population of people, conform to either Christianity or whatever religion they're going to. And it really separates the public versus that private sector, where, now that they've disassembled the Department of Education, it's really going to come down to the states whether we still have those rights in the public school to not have religions and things forced, and to have those private schools where we can do those things. I mean, because states have always had the right to have, not follow, what the national things are going on right now. That's why we have charter schools like we went to when we were in high school. That was because states had the rights to do those things. Why we were allowed to go and pray at the flagpole, even though it was a public private school. So just depending on who you have in office and what their ideologies are really gonna what drives where education is gonna head. And if those ideologies are not aligned with what the national, people want, then that we're going to see an uprising there. Now that it has been this whole dissolution of the education system on that national level, it is going to fall to the states, and then you're going to see a lot of other internal problems starting up where there weren't before, defunding and then people not getting proper education or the option to have the education, or where private schools become the main thing along with homeschooling and all. So I think with the trend in education heading that way, I think public schools might be, on the back burner a bit, and we're going to see a lot of defunding where we should be seeing increasing funding and things like that as states become more in control of what's going on with that money and things like that.
Yeah.
Just,
I
just mention
honestly, I'm
just
sorry.
mention two things that stood out to me real quick. I'm sorry, Xavier.
No, you're fine.
Just mention two things that stood out to me real quick. Number one, also here, what's happening is the private schools are now getting more traction. They just did a law in South Carolina where they took the money from the public schools and they're now giving them to private schools. Because the
And those
goal is
vouchers
obviously
are coming into play where they're just taking them right out, so we don't even get qualified for things.
correct. And then, secondly, my biggest concern now are HBCUs. Here in South Carolina, we have 7, and every last one. We only have one that's public; the rest are private. And even though the rest are private, we're going to still all be affected kind of equally across the board throughout this. Right now, HBCUs are talking. I did attend, obviously, Benedict, and even now we're talking about how to navigate the funding loss that's getting ready to come up, the positions that are getting ready to be lost with these HBCUs because they are going to have to cut positions at many of the HBCUs because of this. So now we're trying to figure out how to boost student enrollment. One of my jobs as a counselor is to try to promote HBCUs as much as I can to my students so that they can go to try to help boost these enrollment and get the numbers up because that's really the only way they're going to get paid.
Right.
And even here where I'm at now, with these school voucher things have taken over. They even have it in there where you have a preference of race, where where your child, if your child does not want to go to a school with black folks or anybody or as they say others, then you can. But the problem with that is the ratio to private school to public school. You get more public schools than you do have private, and those private, they do not have, and they are not regulated like public school. Number one. Number two, if you have a child that has an IEP or a 504 or have some type of disability, baby, you are not that ain't the school for you because
You're
they
not
don't.
guaranteed any of those services.
Well, then
Uh,
not just that, the teachers at private school don't even have to be certified. You can go out and hire anybody who has any type of degree to teach, and they may not have the educational background at a private school.
Well, a
Correct.
lot of
and
people are really gonna really homeschool their kids, because I've heard, like, especially here in New York, they want to shut down a few schools here and there, you know. The safety.
Xavier, your mic went out.
and the thing about that too, to piggyback off what you were saying, homeschooling is a good thing, but it's also a bad thing too, because if you got somebody if you're the only person in your house that can read and everybody else can't, what they gonna teach you?
You're gonna have some kids.
And
You
parents
know,
aren't teachers. They don't know where the standards are. They don't know what really they should be taught. They're just referring back to their own educational experiences as though they have, the knowledge of like, I'm a kindergarten teacher. I teach phonetics. I teach how to read. So parents think, oh, I read books when I was a kid. I can teach reading, when there's a lot of science behind what goes on in
Okay.
reading.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
yes.
Okay. So I'm sorry. I thought I was on. But what I was saying is,
Hold,
like,
hold on, hold
people
on, Xavier. Hold
now.
on,
Good,
Xavier.
good
Hold
point.
on. Finish what you were saying, Jess, and then
Just
we'll.
saying that, not all parents, are to say aren't educated enough to do it, but they don't necessarily know what the expectations are, where their kids should be at. They think they do, but
Xavier, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, from what I've heard, even before the year 2024, we left out of that year, they said that they was going to shut down a few schools in New York,
mm,
because of the safety and everything that's going on and the health hazards. It's getting too much, and teachers are retiring before the retirement, time, so people are leaving like left and right, and it's getting dangerous. Too much is going on, and now the federal government, because of Trump, want to remove federal funds from important areas like the schools and
Yes.
museums. It's getting ridiculous. It's getting out of hand. So people are scared. You don't know, they're scared. You know, and me, I'm a postal worker. I'm not a teacher. I'm not in the education facility. I do online. I'm an online graduate student for my master's. You know, about to get my master's real soon, but people are fighting hard. I didn't go on April 5th to protest. I only protested on the 23rd of March, for the privatization of, to prevent Trump from, and Elon Musk from wanting to privatize the postal service. 250-year-old agency. Why would you do that? You messing with people's
Because
401ks,
you're in the post
everything.
office. You're in the post office.
Yeah, so it's like, why would you talking about people's bills and checks and passports and medications? We deliver medications, certified mails, important packages. I mean, come on, that's another form of network communication, not just all across the United States, but also other parts of the world. So come on. It's like,
And sorry.
no, no, go forth.
And
you
and
know
and to be and to be clear, for those of us who do not know, the U.S. Postal Service is not an entity of the United States government. They are totally separate. Am I correct?
but they still calling it's not fully government, but it is part of the federal. It's like the federal
Yeah.
part, but
it's
it has its
federally
own entity.
funded.
Right,
Yeah.
so that we
My
still
Yeah.
dad's worked
consider
at the
as a.
post office for his entire life, and it is a federally funded program.
Right. So either way, we're still important, just like everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely important, but what's happening is, and I keep telling people this, it's all about the communication. They want to control every aspect of the narrative. What you get in the mail, what is being heard on television. There are places here where I live where people didn't even know that who was running for the presidency, the state elections, none of that. By the time they knew, voting had already happened, and so it's those sort of things. It's the education behind it. They want to keep you dumb, just like where I'm at. Um,
Well, everything they're doing is unconstitutional.
yeah, but
Correct.
It's
Exactly.
illegal.
when you have enablers that you have put in these judge seats, they're going to allow that enabling to continue. And
Mm.
so and people don't understand what affects you the most. It's going to be your local politics. Who's in your state houses, your state your legislatures, your school boards, your city aldermen, your oh my God, your city council, all of those things. And so uh, we're so fixated and worried about at the top like we should. But then let's just think, if you have somebody that's on your level, on the local level, in the governorships and all the things, and they directly align with what who's in the presidency, your goose is cooked and you haven't even taken out the oven yet.
So now, Bill, I want Bill and Stevie to say something, because I know everybody's had a moment. So, Bill, you want to say something, Stevie? No.
Yeah.
Oh, I know nothing about the education system. I
Okay.
used to teach private lessons. That was it. That's as far as my education.
Okay, Stevie.
I'm in the red state of South Carolina. So we down here we've got Nancy Mace, we got Tim Scott, we got Lindsey Graham, and I just read today that he's preparing to defund Maine's public schools after he demanded a full-throated apology from the governor for not obeying him because she's refusing to do so. So this is petty. You're cutting funding to HBCUs, and we know exactly why you're doing this
So
because he loves the poorly educated. Now, Xavier over to my left over here, she says she works for the U.S. Postal Service. Now, privatize, privatize, privatize. I just read today also that MAGA, what is it, Mike Johnson, the House Speaker, Mike Johnson just voted to cut Medicaid. Nearly 40% of his district relies on Medicaid.
Yeah,
So the goal is to enrich themselves. This is authoritarianism, y'all. It's
it
full
is.
blown authoritarianism. You are not listening to the judges, the federal judges. You're not listening to the Supreme Court Justice John Roberts, the ones who granted you the absolute immunity, saying, no, you can't do this. No, this is illegal. It's unconstitutional. Everything that they're doing. You are cutting funding to public schools, public education that people need. But we
Yeah,
know
these
why
are
you're
all
doing it
necessities,
because
but
you rely
it's
on it.
all out of evil intentions. It's all out of also they raising the tariffs. He wants Trump wants another civil war. Okay, amongst from United States versus all of the other countries, like 185 of them. You
We're
know,
not gonna win if we do that. We're not gonna win because
Oh,
they're gonna come.
China's sitting all ready
that's what
for him.
that's pretty
China
much the
is
whole
ready
point.
for him.
I wanted to add something to this conversation, and Xavier, when you brought up the fact that many of these things that are happening are unconstitutional. The ugly truth is, for most of us on here on this screen, the Constitution was never for us.
Yep. Good night.
We weren't in mind when it was written. We had to fight to be included, and that these people that have been entrusted with the trust of the people are not looking out for the people, because even in many of these districts, Republican districts, those people that live in those districts do not all agree with what their representatives are doing. So that tells you that they don't even care what their own people in their districts care about. And this is going to really come back to bite them, because when midterms come, and this is why they're moving so aggressively right now with so many of these things that they're doing, because they know come midterm, they're screwed. These
But you
people
wouldn't,
are going to
but
forget.
but you wouldn't know something. But a lot of us, especially within the we all had contributed to the United States,
I'm sorry,
especially after.
I don't know if it's your headphones, but I hear a lot of static when you speak.
It's popping. It's
Uh,
like
oh, and I don't even use this all the time. I'm sorry. Can you hear me? Can y'all hear
Yeah,
me?
but we just hear the pop every time you speak.
it's
Oh,
it's
okay.
it's popping.
Oh, I am so sorry, y'all. I am so
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
Can,
it's popping like over Redenbacher.
can you
Oh,
Xavier? Can you unplug it and just talk to the camera?
sure. Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. Yeah, what I was saying, sorry about that, y'all, is that we all contributed to the United States. Especially, I'm not trying to, separate races or anything, but a lot of us Black African Americans ancestors, we have contributed a lot, especially Capitol Hill, you know. And for them to try to take us back into slavery days and the separation and the colored and the white signs and everything, this country, all across this country, is a melting pot. Okay, and like I said before, what they're doing is unconstitutional, it's illegal, and Musk, and first of all, Trump he's just such a hypocrite. He doesn't know what he's doing. He is a disgrace to America. He is a disgrace to himself, but mainly us, more likely the American citizens. And you're
Well, I
gonna
mean, he
say that
does.
you're getting rid of all these. immigrants, but you brought an immigrant over from South Africa, and he's with you in the White House, and you have him touching, having his hands in all sorts of, the cookie jar and everything, and messing up people's livelihoods. Come on.
I'll,
What
I'll,
Yes.
I
I'll
want
go
to
So
with this.
hypocritical.
I want to interject and say this. Like when it comes down to who all is being affected, now the ironic part is when I was doing these shows last year and I was telling people to go vote, I always told people, I said, it doesn't matter what color you are, where you came from, or whatever the case may be. I think Cynthia just jumped off. Whatever the case may be, everybody is going to be affected. If you're not making a certain amount of millions a year, if you're not a billionaire, if you're not a rich ass white man, you're going to be affected. And exactly those things is what happened. You got all the Mexicans and all the motherfuckers that was down there in South Florida that voted for this man because they thought, you know,
Cuba, the Cubans.
FAFO.
I
they
will vote
they thought
for Donald.
because of their light skin and their near whiteness that they were not going to be affected, but they're the first ones that got the boot. And it's like, listen, he's not worried about any of us. Anybody on here, he's not worried about us. I don't care, white, black, Puerto Rican, it don't even matter. Like, if you're not in that category of a financial state,
Hmm.
then it don't even matter. Like if you're not making like multi-millions, billions,
Hmm.
he's not talking to you. So
But
it's
that's what I'm saying. He need to tax. He really need to put the taxes on the millions and the billionaires.
He's
well,
not going to do that.
And
baby,
You're not
I
gonna hear
know,
that, baby.
I
You're
know,
not
I
gonna
know,
hear
but
that.
Everything he's
he
doing
really
is
need
the
to do that
opposite of
and take it off of
antithesis of
us
that.
hardworking, middle class, low class citizens. You
If
know,
if I can real quick though, I
I know
want
what
That's
y'all
the story
saying.
of
I know.
America. Capitalism has always been about greed. People that
Right.
exactly.
have a whole lot want to continue to have a whole lot at other people's expense. That's capitalism.
Well, I want to go back real quick to something that Darius said about
Colonial capitalism.
I want to go back to something Darius said about the districts. And I don't know if Stevie heard this earlier with us being here in South Carolina, but there is a coroner who used Democrats in a Democratic county of South Carolina, heavy Democrat district, to win the votes because he decided to run as a Democrat, and then just made the announcement today that he's switching over to the Republican
I
Party.
mean, that's money. That's money. That's all they're doing. They try to get connected to the money. That's all. I
Mhm.
know some people here in Florida right now. The only reason why they're a Republican is because it's a financial benefit for them. And I get it. And at the same time, it's like you're dancing for the sake of a dollar. Forget your community, forget the people that you say that you serve. You're only dancing for the sake of a dollar. I mean, there are people that were Democrats here in Hillsborough County, and I forgot who it was. She was a Democrat, and at the last minute, she switched over and became a Republican because it was financially beneficial. And here's the thing about it, and this is sad, but it's true. A lot of Democrats, especially here in our county, they want you to do so much for the party, but they want you to do it for free. But then the Republicans come along and they see if you're beneficial to them, and it doesn't matter what color you are. They see if you're beneficial to them, and they're throwing money at you. If somebody approached me and said, "Oh, Giles, we'll pay you da 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 da," they would entice me. I ain't lying. They would entice me with coin because they know money is, and that's what you see a lot going on. You see a lot of people who really don't believe like they believe. There are a lot of people who don't honestly believe like these people believe in the educational system, but because of financial support, they're just saying whatever.
And
I
this is why I switched over to being independent.
don't. Mm-hmm.
I was independent at first, and then they said, "Oh, you was voting too much for a Democrat." So switch over to Democrat. They automatically put me Democrat, and then when I heard too much of the nonsense with the Democrats and everything, I went right back over to independent.
Y'all
So,
remember Donald Trump used to be a Democrat.
mhm.
Really, since
He
when?
switched over and said Republicans are the dumbest people. You can tell them anything. You can tell them the sky is orange and they'll believe it.
He said that years ago. He not only tried to run before as a Democrat, he also tried to run before as an independent. I remember this from the 90s when I was in college at that time. So he anywhere he could get a grift in, and it was with the Republicans that bought into the BS.
Now,
Now
The
Cynthia,
art of the deal.
now
The art of
Cynthia,
the deal. Failed
Cynthia is
businesses.
she's in the medical field. Um, you got to deal with some nut that has no clue about what he's doing. And then JFK, he was running Democratic.
RFK.
Who?
RF.
RFK.
JFK.
Oh my God.
Wrong Kennedy.
JFK is deceased, baby.
Right, wrong
JFK
kid.
is deceased.
RFK Jr.
But RFK sound like he deceased.
But Jess, I mean, let's see, you're Jess, Kenneth, Marcus, you guys in the educational field, like, because me and Jess, we went to school together. We didn't have, like, a lot of this stuff that's going on now. We didn't experience all of that stuff.
No.
Like, honestly, and I'm speaking, I'm speaking for me. And she can say her part, but I know when I was in school, like, it wasn't like it was well, there was the cliques, but when we were affected, we all came together when something happened. We had a young man that died in our school. Well, he didn't die in our school, but he died in a car accident.
Mm,
That affected all of us.
mhm.
Right.
We was all like cousins, brothers, sisters. It affected every last one of us. It wasn't a black white thing, and that's the kind of school we went to. Now, don't get me wrong, it was some BS at the school, but for the most part, it was like team all of us.
Right.
How do you feel, honestly, with the mess that's going on? How do you feel with all of this? Because I mean, you're a teacher. So with all your students collectively, how does that make you feel?
Well, I mean, I think, like, if I could pony back over to what was said earlier about Trump not really having a plan. He's had a plan this whole time. He's very blatantly told his plan the entire time. He's said from the beginning his views on education, which include decreasing unions, getting away with unions altogether, defunding Title I schools, which are the ones who educate those impoverished children. They're the ones who give funding to teachers to get the education, the further education that they not only require us to have, but are needed to deal with those students who are, at those losses and things like that. So, and then they talked about, giving information about who their politicians are and things like that. That's just weaponized ignorance, I think, in my opinion, which, playing devil's advocate, because, in my opinion, I've seen a lot of parents who come and they literally are just like, oh, I didn't know that they needed this. I didn't know that they needed that. Well, it's like, this is 2025. Get on the internet. You didn't know you're supposed to register your kid for kindergarten? I mean, you went to school. You know how old you were. You live in the area. Go to the school's websites. Look at the things. There's no reason at this day and age for people, to not have the information that they need, or to just say, oh, I wasn't given that information. So although, Trump might not have the most popular things going on in education, he was very clear about everything that he was going to put in place and has
And he
done
meant
so.
it.
So it definitely isn't a surprise with how things have played out.
Right.
But with that, that it comes with, losing the school boards and things like that. You're going to see the states then taking back over, and you're going to just see craziness all over with what the expectations are for, not only children of race, children who have ESE services, like my son in particular. is an ESE student. You know, he needs his services, and with the push for private schools, you know, he's at risk to lose those things. And without them, you know, he already does poorly.
Mhm.
We're going to see just a level of ignorance across America that, you know, I think they're pushing for. You know, the less educated our population is on any level, no matter your race, no matter your religion, no matter what, you know, you're going to see things start to taper off. And then, like you mentioned, going off into war, that's that route that you go to. The more ignorant the people are, you know, the more they're going to go to those more barbaric forms of solving their issues.
And on
Yeah,
top of that, I have never seen so many days off with these kids.
Huh?
Oh, yeah, these kids are getting a whole bunch of days off.
Well, see, I ain't got no children in my house anymore, so I don't know who the fuck off. Who off and who
No,
on? I don't-
no, but if you Josh, if you watch the news, they coming up with all these other new holidays that we never had. Okay.
Well, that's all at a county level. I mean,
Correct.
honestly, that's, you know, although those initiatives come down from a national level, it comes down to the state and then to the county, because every county is different on what days they have off and what they do.
I
Like,
laughed at
Yeah,
for
the
I
instance,
mean,
children
I
at
Good
see them
Friday
during
in
the
my county, they
hours.
don't have off for Good Friday, but in the neighboring county, they do. So, you know,
No, I'm not
yeah,
talking about Good Friday. I'm talking about all these weird holidays they came up with now.
What weird holidays?
The devil, something about the devil's holiday. I'm not talking about Halloween. There's another. It was a cultural holiday. It's something dealing with the Arabs, something like that, Muslims, and then
maybe in your
Diwali.
county, every county's different.
something like that.
it-
Diwali. That's
Okay, I mean,
It's a different name. They came. There was another name.
the way they feel
The
about
Chinese. It was a Chinese name. I'm not talking about Chinese New Year. That's no.
She from New York, Auntie. She in New York.
I'm about
Yeah.
to say every state and county is different when it
I
comes to
mean, I never.
I
I
know
know in
for
Florida we
I
ain't doing
never
no
saw.
stuff like
I
that.
never saw so many.
No, Florida has a lot more strict policy on terms of their days off,
well,
and that still varies county to county.
correct.
I can tell you that that's
Oh,
going
these
to
kids are so
change.
left back.
I can tell you that's going to change because where I'm at, I mean, when it came to Black History and all those other things, they said no, we're not celebrating any type of holiday. I don't care if it was I don't care if it was MLK. I don't care if it's the Holocaust. We're not we're not doing standalone holidays. We're not going to do that. So they had one of the people at the radio station had scheduled to do something at the Air Force Base. He was turned around and said, "No, it's not happening. We got orders to say that we're not celebrating specialty standalone holidays anymore. We're not doing it." And and to the people that want to be ignorant and talk about um, education or lack thereof, you have to ask yourself something. Um, if you are in a state, which most of us are, in a red state,
Mm.
you have to ask yourself why your education ranks at the bottom of everybody else's. We talk about the blue states so much, but guess what? Y'all, the blue states is winning.
Yeah, I'm in that blue state. New York is blue.
See, Kenneth, here's the thing. Here's the thing about it. Again, it goes back to what I said earlier. If we do not, well, I ain't gonna say we because I pay attention, but if people do not honestly pay attention to the people that's running for office, if you don't pay
Mhm.
attention to that and you're just going and just putting people based upon they're Democrat all the way down the board, or Republican all the way, like pay attention to what they're doing, pay attention to what their standards are, pay attention to what they're pushing, their motives or anything like that. You got to pay attention to those things. So when you vote for people, you got to make sure that they're in line to what exactly you want to see in office. If not, they're going to get in there and do exactly what they're doing right now.
with that though is
Yep.
And he did exactly what he said he was going to do. Project 2025 is no coincidence. Almost everything that this man has done it's like a checklist of everything. It's moving at a fast speed. Everything that he's doing, from the dismantling of the Department of Education. And what got me is that you locked out federal workers out of the Department of Education that's
So
been there for decades. You changed the locks, you and Elon Musk, and y'all come back with armed guards like they are the ones who's there to cause a problem? No, it's the Republicans that's causing the problem. They were there to
Stephen,
do their job, but Elon
Stephen,
Musk is forcing them out.
And it's sad,
Stephen.
and even then, because even with Ken talking about blue states, first off, these kids can't even write in cursive no more. They can't even sign checks. They don't like in
And
South
I
Carolina. They took handwriting out of the curriculum. They took spelling out of the curriculum.
I
So
teach it.
it's
and
just
that was the
spell
best thing ever, spelling and math and all of that.
right.
It
And
was
not
very
only that,
helpful.
phonics also, because you got people that didn't even know that don't know the correct pronunciation of words.
And in
I,
South Carolina, math is even changing next year. So even with high school math, we're having to now put students. Yeah, next year high school math is changing in South Carolina. So we have to now put students in geometry, algebra 2, and now they don't even have problem stats anymore. So they're putting geometry with statistics, putting something called reasoning modeling, and all that type of stuff.
That's
So like,
confusing.
yeah,
That's
listen.
I have a
These,
That's
question.
chaotic.
Hold up.
these,
I got a question. Do they still teach civics in high school? Civics.
Yes.
Hell no.
so it's called
They
government
do.
now.
It's
Government
actually
is
a
a half
state
credit course.
requirement in middle school for students to pass a state civics class. It's composed of like 4 components in which they need to pass in order to move on to high school. And then once they have high school, it's a high school graduation requirement.
And then in South Carolina, you take government, you don't take civics, but government is a half credit course with economics. So you take government the first 9 weeks, and then you take economics the second 9 weeks, and they become one full credit.
Do they
I
and
still?
all,
remember I took
They need a middle
economics.
school and a high school year of civics and to pass the state required testing for that.
Do they still require the kids to take FCAT?
It's not an FCAT, but they do have a standardized test that students have to take.
Okay.
Yeah,
um,
standardized, some kind of
And then South
standardized.
Carolina, it just depends on the content area. So English
Yes.
2, so sophomores have to take a test for English 2. All middle schoolers have to take a test, but then in high school, sophomore is English 2, U.S. history, and algebra 1. So those are the only 3 that
where
are. Oh, and biology. Those are the only 4 that are requiring tests in high school.
I remember when I was in high school, and this was like 2003 to 2007, we had to take Regents classes. Okay. Like all the Regents math and those all those core courses, especially, they were preparing us for the PSATs, the SATs. Do they still do that? PSAT, SAT? They have that?
it
They
depends
do
on
the
where
many.
it depends on where
They
you
do
are.
the many colleges aren't requiring the use of those scores anymore.
You
That
know,
was a requirement. That was like, so that way they knew where you were at, especially reading levels.
Well, see,
so
but that's the problem though too, because a lot of those testing mechanisms do not match the curriculum map. So guess what? The kids, you may have an A student not do well on a test because they don't the material that's been covered, they haven't been taught. They
so
Well, and
have
then
no clue what they're doing.
what I
That
think
happened.
a lot of people don't understand that there's a difference between your state standards, like that you're supposed to
Yes.
teach to, the curriculum in which your county has subscribed to, and what is being tested on those benchmark standards, on those standardized tests. The difference comes in how they're worded, what the expectations are, and how they're presented to the students. So if you're presenting phrasing and one terminology based off of a curriculum that your county purchased, that somewhat may or may not reach the standards that you're required by law to teach from the
Yeah.
state level, then you're having to, get all these other instructional resources, but that's not teaching to fidelity, which they also insist that you do. So teachers are met with these
Well,
trying to meet these benchmarks and this testing that are really unreasonable to
but
So
you
do.
are
know,
they just trying
here
to
we can't
pass these
even.
kids to graduation and get rid of them quickly?
Well, here in South
That's
Carolina,
the thing. That's what No Child Left Behind was about.
you can't even
mhm.
teach about
Well, see,
slavery anymore in South Carolina. You have to say that slavery. If you teach about slavery in South Carolina as an educator, you get in trouble now. So you can't even teach that what happened with it, anything like that. They wanted you at one point to talk about how slavery became good for African Americans for work purposes, but that didn't go over well.
That's such
Um,
a good That is
That
so.
didn't go well, so they just dropped it all
Man,
together.
So
That's the
Straight
thing.
trash.
I gotta say something. That's the thing. All of this is they want people to forget the history of this country.
Exactly.
The thing is, if we forget history, we are doomed to repeat it.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, very much starting to repeat it.
Yeah. Now,
So
how can you remove history, people's history, their culture, their history from American history?
because
what you have,
American
the
history is
reason
not
why
only
they're
white
able to do that,
American.
the reason why they're able to do that is because you have people that are in office that don't qualify, but they're there because they've been handpicked to be there,
right
and
there.
they can do what they want to do because they've been put in those places. When people sit up out here and feel like their vote does not count, they're not going to vote, and then people are going to get in office. And so basically, when you don't vote, you're voting anyways. And you got a whole lot of people that are in those particular offices, and they're basically Kent. Well, no, Kent is not Candace Owens, but Jennifer Graham, whatever her name is, Robert F. Kennedy, Pete Hatsef, whatever, Linda McMahon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that fool. You got these people that are in. You got these people that are in office, and they're basically doing the agenda of people that are super rich, and they're basically doing what they want to do. So it's not just that black people are being affected and Spanish people, because here's the thing: you got white people that are not in that margin, they're being affected too. And just like it was in history, they're affecting black people, white folks, and Spanish people, because they feel like if you're not in our class, if you're not in whatever, then you're going to be affected. And here, this is the reason why you have black people who start making a certain amount of money. They start acting weird. You got Spanish folks who, when they get a little money and change, they think they white. And then you got white people who, when they get rich, they just forget about everything and they start treating everybody else like shit, and they become Karens and Michaels and shit. So it's like everybody start acting different when they get a little change in their pocket. But again, everybody on this level, it's like we have to fight extra hard to keep the things that have preserved and that have made this what it is. So as far as the educational piece, and then we can move on to the medical field, because that's a serious note too. When we were in school, we had health, we had economics, we had engineering,
home economics.
home economics. We had all these things that taught us, prepared us for out of college, well, in college, out of college. They taught us how to write in cursive in elementary school. Middle school. That was something that was, because again,
reading comprehension.
At our school, and I can only say this for McKeel, like we had teachers that actually did care, even though some of the students, they came to school with attitudes because they had stuff going on at home.
Right.
But the teachers did care. Now I can only speak for McKeel. We had like Miss Dardis. What was the heavy set teacher name? With the bob English.
The English teacher or the health teacher?
She's a health teacher now?
I'm not. The English teacher or the health teacher, there were two that looked the same. There was a Miss Waters, and then I don't know the other one's last name, but her first name was Tracy.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. She was an English teacher.
Yeah, the English teacher. I don't remember her last name, but her first name was Tracy. Paul, maybe?
I think so. And then we had, I don't know where he is, but I actually liked him. We had a math teacher. He was gay. Super famous.
Dude, can I just tell you? Guy Swinson, he's a principal over in Orange County.
Really?
I've run into him a couple times, to be honest with you.
Wow.
Like conventions and things like that.
Oh, I'm telling you, the man loved what he did, and he was passionate, very passionate. And it's like, because they're trying to pass laws that don't make any sense, go against their Christian values when they're not Christian. And it's like they're passing things talking about the gays and transgender. It's like, listen.
Smoke and mirrors.
Why?
It's
Yeah.
it's not the trans and the gays and the drag queens. It's y'all stealing people's 401ks and pensions. It's y'all stealing people's social security benefits. And now today it's been revealed that Twitter is now going to be the new home of the Social Security Administration.
Twitter.
Are you
Say
What?
what?
serious?
What?
That's
Yes.
Say
insane.
what?
Oh Lord.
I'm done.
That can't be.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
Twitter.
What you mean Twitter's gonna be the home of Social Security?
Of the Social Security Administration, Jackie Reed, who has the show with Joy Reid, it says
Yeah.
the Social Security Administration will shift all communications exclusively to X, Twitter.
Oh
So
Lord.
how
That's that privatization that we were talking about earlier.
we can't make this stuff up. You can't make it up.
That is insane. That's retarded.
Wow.
But you know what? Most of the people that I know that are supporters of F-45, they'll tell you to your face, oh, Project 2025 is not real.
It's not real.
There are
Exactly.
It's
there
the
are
new
some
Jim Crow.
there are some supporters of Trump that want it to be real, but it's all fake. So I need to stop spreading lies. I said, baby, honey, I'm not spreading nothing. These your effing people. I said, so you know what? Your problem is not with me, it's with them. Because guess what? I don't care. Even though I was not part of that 92%, I was part of that 70-some percent that voted against. I said, so your problem is not with me, it's with them. So go check that. And then right after I said that, he went and got baptized. I said, but guess what? It didn't help you none. Then none of that
Man,
helped
tell
you,
him
baby.
47 goddamn.
And this is why a lot of our people were saying, before April 5th, like, don't keep your black behinds home because of the potential martial law from Trump. And,
I honestly think, Xavier, I think that they say that to make us, it put fear in us. But I think if we actually did come together and
I
did
think we did
stand,
really well by a lot of us staying home because I was one of them that
no, no,
stayed
no, no, no,
home
no,
and
no.
I was
Hold on.
pregnant.
See, because that's our problem. If we keep staying at home, nothing's going to get done. And I mean, look, if we actually came together, listen, all them folks went out there to the damn Capitol and storm and a bum rush the Capitol.
It was
Now,
all across America.
I understand it was all across America, but at some point, we have got to do something. I don't know. I'm hoping we can make some change.
I think we do. We do a lot, especially the black African American. We do a lot. Even some white people, they have helped us out too.
Yes.
But we needed to sit this one out.
Population. But here's the thing, though.
I was part of the
Even
92%.
Me
even
too.
even if all of us got together, population wise, if you want to follow statistics, we're still outnumbered. You're gonna have to have some more people. You're going to have people that are from the other side that are willing to join in with you, because I'm gonna tell you, this time Margin ain't gonna get it, baby. Margin ain't gonna get it.
I don't give a damn
No.
They don't give
This
two
is
about marching.
about you
That ain't
protest.
gonna happen.
full blown
That ain't gonna happen.
authoritarianism. This man is talking about declaring martial law. Like, we know what will happen if we set foot on those streets. We know exactly
Hmm.
what will happen. This is a whole new generation. We are not our ancestors, y'all.
Because even back then, and
We were.
I'm trying hard to not age myself here, but you have to understand that granted we may not be our ancestors, but they are not theirs either. They did their dirt. Yes, they had Jim Crow and all of those things, but they still did it within the monicum of trying to play it within the law. These are lawless individuals that we're talking about now. We are bringing knives to gunfights. We are playing
Yes.
they're playing chess. Right now, one of the things that we have as a collective, as a people, and I'm not only talking black and brown, is one thing, let's just be clear here. What rich white folks don't want is to be poor ones like the rest of us. We have our dollars need to start speaking for us in ways that they've never before. Target is hurting, but before they kowtow and rewind, they
Uh-huh.
eventually fold. And that's because we have stopped giving them our money. Two
I
things
don't remember the
people in
last
this
time I shopped
country
in
never
Target.
want to be is broke and lose their freedom. Now, we play within those two veins of ideology, we could get somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
The boycotts are working. The boycotts are working from
Yep.
Target to Walmart. I haven't been to Walmart since I don't know when. Now it's
Same
hard.
here.
I can't speak for my mom, but but for myself, I haven't been to Walmart. It's been a minute.
Folks ain't
So,
staying in New
but to see Elon Musk crying on Fox News about losing his Tesla stock, did y'all see that?
He
Oh,
lost
we
So
didn't
30
like the
beautiful.
or $30
insider
billion
trading.
dollars.
And this is
Yes,
not
indeed.
just because of what happened the other day with insider trading. It came out the other day. Actually, today I saw it somewhere in
Mhm.
one of my feeds that this is another part of those initiatives is that he has to make so many stock trades before 100 days. So we're going to see some more of this. So
Well, I mean, just look at what they just did.
401ks are going to be obliterated. Let's just keep it a buck. At this point,
Yep.
having no other than cash that you could have in your home or readily available in a bank, trying to save money as well. And I don't want to sound stupid, but let's keep it a buck. Trying to save money at this point and having good credit, they finna obliterate it all for us. Because why would Elon Musk need to have anything to do with the Social Security's situations outside of the payments for seniors? Because my mother is one and my father also, so they do get those monies. We
So
paid
does my
into it
mother.
that we may not even see in the next 5 to 10 years at the rate that this is going.
And I want everybody to understand what the word entitlement means. The word entitlement more so applies to those that have money because they want to be entitled to the money that they have.
Mhm.
We pay in to everything that we get, but it's not called entitlement, right? So that conversation needs I want everybody to understand when people talk about entitlement. I want you guys to understand to do the reverse. These people want to be entitled to the money that they have and yours too. So that needs to be understood because a lot of these folks they don't even have a clue how civics works, how economics works, how any of the stuff works. Only thing they see is somebody that has given them permission to be exactly who they are. So they out here running amok. I want y'all to know something. Listen to me well. Don't think you can just run up to people and just do what you want to now.
Well,
Try it
hey,
if you want to.
what goes around comes around.
Well,
And I think
Absolutely.
God's been the block on my behalf, and so far he's been successful. Amen.
Well, God has the last and final say.
Amen.
He sits on the throne. So
okay. That
And
that
not this person who is an
I'm not
occupant
preaching,
of the
but I'm
White
telling it like it
House.
is.
If
I'm
you
telling
want to take
speaking
it
truth.
there, we're in the season where God is going to sit back and allow all this stuff to happen.
Well,
Yes,
he's
he
already
is.
doing that because there's
He's
judgment.
already there.
Judgment is already taking place in America because America had gotten beside itself. Okay, and taking God out of the schools and the praying and everything. We wouldn't be going through all this if we
Yes, we
kept the
would.
prayers in schools and
Yes, we
everything.
would. No, I disagree. Yes, we would
We
because
would because there is prayer in school. There are still
yeah,
religious schools out there, so that
And
But
goes
not.
it's
But
there.
I'm
This
talking
is
about all
the
the
reason
schools.
why we would still be going through this because since the beginning of time, and mainly I think all people have done it, but in this country, white people, and not all white people, but they use religion to control people. They don't
They
care.
call it Christian
Hold
nationalism.
up, I'm not finished. Hold up. They don't care about you going to heaven or hell or nowhere. It is about controlling you on earth. So whether you kept praying, because you can't stop me from praying in my mind
Amen.
if I was
I
taught that at home.
I
So
remember I remember years ago when I was in high school, I had brought my Bible, my small green little Bible. Those what is it? Not pagan. I
Gideon,
forgot.
the
Huh?
Gideon Bible.
Yeah, the
The
Gideon
Gideon
Bible.
Bible.
Thank you. And I was given that a long time ago, and those were very well known.
I
And
had
I always kept one in my bag, my book bag, and my grandmother always taught me that. And she was a senior missionary, and so I took it out and read a little bit of it. And during lunchtime, and one of the security members said, "Put it back, put it right back in your bag. You're
I
not
had
supposed to
one.
have that out." I said, "It's part of who I am. I'm a Christian. I don't have any shame in that. Put it in your bag." I'm like,
Well,
wow.
But you
I
have
had.
choice in school, so I mean, if you
It,
want to
it,
have
it
that, you
wasn't a
can
Christian
choose to
school.
go to a place that has that.
Well, I'm still surprised that the hotels and these hotels still had them, especially with what was on my mind that day. So I'm like, oh Lord.
I think one of the wasn't it one of the schools
How
in
did you and Bible got
Mississippi?
started was
One of the schools in Mississippi, they had
Woo!
put prayer back in school. Was it Mississippi or North Carolina? I don't remember.
It, it, it was probably that sound like something Mississippi would do with their trifling asses. That sound like
yeah.
that.
Well, see, here's the thing. Now, with all the policies that these people are pushing, with all the stuff that's going on right now, everybody that it was on the opposing team told us all of this stuff that was going on.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this right here. If you did not vote, you have no reason to be complaining because you're more part of the problem than anything. If you did not vote and you was more concerned about a black or whatever the hell color she is, woman to get in office, you're part of the problem. Because from get-go, even when he was in the office the first time, everybody kept saying the same exact thing. For all of y'all parents that are not involved with y'all kids at the school, you ain't worried about them kids getting an education. You wasn't worried about them food stamps because you were still on the program. You wasn't worried about nothing. You were sitting back letting everybody else do it. You're part of the problem. Everybody that's out here that actually voted, thank you. Because I know everybody that's on this thing, everybody's been saying, vote, pay attention, get out there and get involved, all of this stuff. But nobody wanted to listen. People were more concerned about this woman getting in office and she being a female. She wasn't going to do this. She wasn't going to do that. Well, I'll tell you what somebody did do. Somebody got their ass in office and flipped this country upside the fuck down. And now you out here complaining because your SSI getting cut. You complaining because your WIC getting cut. You complaining because your benefits are getting cut. You complaining because healthcare is getting cut. A lot of y'all complaining because a lot of y'all benefits, school, all of this, everything is getting cut now. And everybody's crying. But see, when people have been telling this country, these folks from the very jump about these things, Project 2025 and all of that stuff, these things have been said, but nobody wanted to pay attention. It is very important that at least people wake up at some point and smell the damn coffee. Listen, I can't speak for who trying to get in office and what the hell they're trying to do. What I can speak to is you have to educate yourself about the policies and procedures because these people have got in office because there was 30-some% of people that did not vote. There was 30-some people, 30-some, I forgot the exact percentage, but it was like 30, 30, 30. 30% of people that did vote, 30% of people that didn't vote. And then, there was 30% of people that voted for Kamala, 30% of people that voted for Donald, and 30% of people that did not vote. Now, that percentage is a little off, but it is almost 30, 30, 30. Go ahead.
We also have to acknowledge also to what the Orange Palpatine said. Whether it's true or not, that there's evidence out there. But again, when you got folks that's weak, they ain't gonna say nothing. Oh, no one knows those voting machines like Elon.
Okay, let's touch on Elon. Now, first of all, the reason why the planes are going down because Elon, and I don't know if people knew this, the American airline Elon Musk had a lot of his equipment in those planes.
We just had 3 plane crashes in the last 24 hours.
Exactly.
And
Back to back.
Yeah,
no
Florida
one
was
has
one
said
of them.
one thing.
Boca Raton.
1 year.
No one has said not one thing about that, and they ain't said nothing about those contracts that he has gotten. And
The man is making billions of dollars
yes,
off of contracts
an
in this
hour.
country. And how is he making billions of dollars when he's a foreigner?
He's not an even elected official. Like, how in the hell are you in our government?
He is. Yeah, he is. He is not a citizen of the United States at all. Like I said before, he does not belong to the United States White House. He does
But
not belong in our capital.
and then those that want to argue with you would say, well, Dr. Fauci was not an elected official either. And say, well, God damn it, he was part of the CDC that was helping people not fucking die, bitch.
So
Which
I
was
correct
a
something that was
government
stated.
entity.
I do want to correct something that was just stated because I just looked it up. Elon Musk is a U.S. citizen.
Oh, he is.
He was naturalized in 2002.
But see,
2002.
but
he also holds Canadian
That
citizenship also.
okay, so now here we go with that again. Now, this is the same resident that wants to overturn birthright citizenship. So Elon, your ass is out too.
No, he's not because he's rich. He's part of the elite.
But
Exactly.
that's what I'm saying. You see how they try to play in your face with that foolishness? That's what I'm talking about. We don't. But I also wanted to go ahead and shed light on something else. If Kamala, because I always look at God in the picture further down the line, right? If Kamala got in office, none of this stuff would actually get fixed. And I think the fact follow me. I think the fact that this is happening, this is forcing people. This is going to force people to actually take action to finally fix the stuff. Even if it's the same people that's causing it, it's causing all of us, the collective, to wake up and actually go and fix it. Because if Kamala would have got in office, it would have been complacent. That's just me.
I understand what you just said. I disagree.
Okay.
A lot of what the other side said was about Kamala being a black woman. I disagree that a black man or a black woman. We created civilization.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Let me finish one.
Okay.
We were the architects of the pyramids. We were the ones that created architecture in agriculture. We were the ones, And so I just disagree with the premise that a black man or a black woman cannot be successful in office. We've already seen a black president be successful in office.
Yeah.
I think has happened when they saw a black man in office. Because guess what they was doing? They was fighting him the whole time, but guess what they was doing?
Yep.
Everybody else wasn't paying attention to.
They was planning for what's coming next.
But what they were doing specifically, they was taking over at the state level. They were gerrymandering all the districts so that their people would win. They was making sure that these legislatures were majority Republican everywhere they could.
Packing the courts.
They were packing the courts.
And
I agree with you.
There's to add to what you're saying, while we were sitting out here getting mad about what Obama wasn't doing, he ain't doing this, about the small things, like you just said, they were already filling up these seats and we were not fucking paying attention. We're so caught up in a black man ain't doing enough for black folks. He ain't doing this. Oh, he just doing this for gay folks. And nobody's paying attention to anything. And it's while we're dancing over here, mad about this, they already planning and putting people in place, like Darius just said. They're putting people here, and exactly what they did, so that by the time when Trump came, I'm just adding to what else you finna say, brother. By the time that Trump even said, because Trump is a puppet, by the Trump even said he was going to
Oh
run,
yeah.
they already had people potentially ready to get in those slots.
Yeah.
And nobody was prepared, and nobody would, because they were so mad at a black man in office because nobody was satisfied. And it's always us. We're never satisfied. You ain't do enough for us. You ain't do this. Oh my God, he did this for the gays. Oh, his wife must be a man. Oh, and I'm just like, we're
Especially
never
they
going to
were
be
threatened by
happy.
him
And
because
this
he
is
was
why, huh?
sorry. I'm so sorry. They were very threatened by him because he's so intelligent. He's so intelligent. He has a lot under his belt when it comes to politics. He's
And that's
highly educated.
and,
And
and
the
that's
and
and go
and
ahead.
the thing about it is that people like Elon Musk and Trump. Elon Musk is Trump's puppet.
But here's the thing about that,
And
Xavier.
Trump
No, it's the
is
other way around.
Putin's
Here's the
puppet.
thing about
Exactly.
that.
That's the other
If
way
Go
around.
ahead,
all
Morris.
this on my list, if all these MAGA people can come together and bag this orange fucking man, if they can all come together and bag this man, why the hell cannot we, as people who are whatever you believe in, why couldn't we have bagged her? Because people say, "Oh, she ain't gonna have no power." Listen, if the MAGAs are backing this man like that and doing whatever the hell they want to do, what's the problem?
You
That's
had
exactly. But
femininity
The
versus
problem is this
machismo.
country
but
is
but but but
really
that
racist.
but
Many
that's
people, most of America is racist. Let's be honest
yeah,
about that fact.
yeah.
Exactly.
And
But
It's
misogyny
classist
is
and
deeply
Everybody
rooted
sexist.
in
not. It's
patriarchy.
a racist country, and many people still think that a black man and a black woman are not up to par with them. You can
and
be
that
the
and,
poet,
Exactly.
and,
you can be the
and
poet's white trash, and they will still think they're better than the most educated black man.
that's why I said what I said. I was not disagreeing with what you were saying, but when you look at the but when you look at the fact that everything that Obama did, he was always met with some type of vitriol. So much to the point that where even if he was even if Kamala was in the presidency, you still had the Republicans still had the House, they still had the Senate. They would have made it virtually impossible for her to do any fucking thing. And
Push
that
Well,
her
that that,
nominees to
and that and
and
anything.
that
you
and that was my whole point.
Yeah, I get that, and I get
Yeah,
that, and that's where we need
yeah,
to focus. We don't need to just
yeah,
focus on the presidency. We need to
yeah,
clear the
exactly.
motherfuckers out of the House and out of the Senate,
Hello.
the
yeah,
local state houses.
yeah,
Local.
We got to
yeah,
get
And
to
these
those
governors,
midterm elections. Those local elections is where the things that affect us, that's where it happens. They're the ones that get funding and the interpretation of and the practice of the law in whole from Congress and from the larger seats. But it happens on a daily basis right where you are. And that's where we've lost the importance of going to those polls. Now we want
State,
to go and
local, and
show out when
federal.
it's every 4 years and it's a president, but for every 2 years that they keep, like you said, taking over everything, gerrymandering, also packing the courts, it's where the problem is. We want to work on larger scales, but totally ignore right where we at in the everyday lives of where it's affecting us the most. We've gotten
Mhm.
out of practice because all we voting too much, or we don't know who the candidates are running, or all politicians are this, that, and the other. Had everybody any thought to take it into any thought that, and I'm gonna age myself because I was born in 1973.
Don't feel bad.
Huh?
Don't feel bad. You look
Okay,
great.
good. I thought I was the only one. Whew, thank you, Lord. But no,
we
but
ain't
let's
that far
Black
keep
and crack.
behind.
let's keep it a buck. Every time they want to run a major governmental grift, they get somebody that's never a politician. How in the hell can you justify a reality TV star and we also
Come
had
on.
a Reagan actor? Those are people that should have never been nowhere near within sniffing distance of politics in our government, no more than put cats in their own vote.
Well,
There was no way.
number one, the ideal. Okay, so I go to there's a famous actor that's actually a friend of mine, um, who actually has a Juris Doctorate and actually ran and lost in Michigan. Y'all know
Hill Harper.
Hill Hopper.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I hated he lost too.
The exception to the rule because that brother know law frontward and backwards, but they would tell you he is not qualified, and they don't want they don't want another celebrity. I
But
said,
that's the
well,
thing.
yeah,
People don't understand that the man is highly educated. He came from an educated family. His mother's a doctor.
yes,
His
correct,
father was an attorney or something. I mean,
yes.
he got into acting, but his profession, his education by trade was law. But like you said, that's all they saw. He really didn't talk up a lot in the times that I would see him on the campaign trail about what outside of the things that we know him for in Hollywood. A lot of people outside of Michigan did not know this about this brother. This brother is very well read, very well spoken, highly educated. And I kind of had a feeling that was going to happen.
But that's
And they would never have to handle
the vein of him being a celebrity.
but that's the problem though. When the Orange Palpatine ran the first time, how many people knew of him? How many people knew him really? Really?
They knew that he was a billionaire. He had a lot of money.
Supposedly.
Tell him. New York was like,
He
look,
never-
we don't like this dude and we don't claim him.
The thing that he blamed Obama for was something that he was chronically that he did himself. That whole birthright citizenship, the birth of thing. He never did that. He never showed his tax returns or anything like that. That was beneath him. But you know what? What's good for the goose is good for the gander. That's what I be talking about. It's that foolishness. It's that foolery right there.
But he got in. But Trump got in illegally twice.
Well, to add to that, here's another thought. Here's another food for thought, and that is everything that man did prior to, well, everything that man did, Trump, after the first initial seat of Obama, he was not running, but he created so much chaos. The prerequisites of Trump should have told everybody what this man was going to be doing. Before he even started running for office, he was creating chaos and confusion. He created chaos and confusion about Obama's birthrights, about his family, about his all this stuff. He created chaos and confusion about Hillary Clinton and all of that stuff. When he ran for office, it was chaos and confusion. If that didn't tell you something right there, I don't know what will.
January 6th is a prime example.
Every time this man comes near the White House, and I hope people pay attention, is chaos and confusion. Nothing that this man does. Everybody's talking about money, finances, but everything has been chaotic. I can tell you this for certainty, and that is when Obama was in there. To me, this is just me. I'm gonna tell you about Mario. When Obama was in there, there was some peace.
Yes.
Well, we had a dignified, dignified and respected in the eyes of other nations.
Yes.
I will say these two things real quick. Number one, Trump talking about the loopholes for a third term. If that's the case, let's get Obama back running against him.
Let's get Michelle.
Good. Michelle, you see, Obama already did.
Michelle don't want to do it. Michelle's not going to do it.
I know she won't.
She probably would leave that man.
She probably would.
The other thing that I wanted to bring up though is I think the Democrats are looking now into Cory Booker after this whole filibuster thing that he did. So I think they're kind of starting to gravitate towards Cory Booker.
You know what I want for him? I know the election is a long way off. You know what I want for him? I want Schumer to step aside.
Step down. Yes.
And then these young folks get in there and clean this mess up.
Yeah. We need somebody at the Democratic Senate leader who is going to fight for us. And Schumer ain't coming.
And I don't think
kowtow and then turn around and said he did it for the American people. Just it's gonna be on his record that he was the one that was the cause of a governmental shut down and stuff. I kind of knew when that came up a couple weeks ago he was going to do that.
I got somebody
It
that
was
just sent me.
potential. It was potential.
I got somebody that just sent me a message, and I'm going to address, since it was directly addressed towards me. When it comes to ma'am, when it comes to the healthcare, I want y'all to understand something. How smart Obama was, because I remember way back when I found a clip, I'll make sure that I post it. He said, if the Republicans want to take credit for the healthcare bill, go right ahead. It's their bill. That's why, ma'am, that is the reason why the Republicans have nothing else to do when it comes to healthcare, because Obama simply just took it from them and put it out there. That's why they can't go back and change it and do anything to it, but they can make it worse, or whatever else, because when they had the option to do something different, they didn't want to. So, ma'am, you're not going to come for me like that. If you want some, you know where I am. Come on and get some, baby. But I promise you won't leave the
Can I
same.
add something to
Wait a
that?
minute. What?
Add something to that. So many people who support Republicans are on that program. It's
Yeah.
not
Make it
it's
make
not
sense.
It's
And
so many
I know
people.
this to be true.
What I want to understand is, if Obama was so bad, why so many people on Obamacare? If Obama was so bad, why so many people got Obama phones? If Obama was so bad, why is it that all the way up to this point, y'all ain't came up with with a better healthcare program?
Because they can't. It's their bill.
They tried, but the bill wasn't going to
They
work
got a concept of a plan. There's no healthcare program.
No, but let's remember now, on his first go round in the White House, remember the House Republican majority leader did try to rewrite a healthcare bill, but everything that was he made pregnancy an exclusion, things that are, inclusive now as we know it. He made just about every health system, a physical body system, not where you couldn't get coverage. If you had asthma, couldn't get coverage. If you were pregnant, couldn't get coverage. The bill was, I remember when the guy wrote it, he wrote it in less than 90 days. It was so effing ridiculous on his face. I said, well, why do they need doctors and nurses then if everything is not covered? You might as well go back to mixing potions in your house to cure yourself. That's how come it fell flat.
For everybody that want a little bit of education, the ACA, look it up if you don't believe me, because I'm not going to do your homework for you because I'm tired. The ACA, the Affordable Care Act, is the brainchild of the Heritage Foundation think tank. Go look it up if you don't believe me. And I'm done with that. I'm done with that, because I'm telling you, it's on a Friday, and you caught me at the right time, because I'll give it to you today, baby. I'll give it to you.
Who said it, Kenny? Who said
Somebody in your inbox?
Who said it, Kenny?
This phone right here is gonna get me in trouble.
Okay,
it's gonna get me in trouble.
Okay, who said it, Ken?
It's gonna get me in trouble.
Well,
I'm not
gonna. Was it Barbie? Who said it?
No, Barbie know better. She know better, and Ken do too.
But let me just say this about
it's my raggedy ass cousin. But anyway,
about Trump. Okay, what happened, for example, on January 6th and all this other crap, ever since he got back into office, he has been nothing but a disgrace and embarrassment to, for the United States of America, and all across all the other countries looking from the outside in is really disgusted with America because of people like Trump, who are the worst leaders of American history. I have never heard of an American president destroying. How are you going to allow American terrorism, white supremacists, destroy the Capitol? You see, if that was let me say this: if there was a whole bunch of us black folks, we wouldn't even make it past the gate.
Yeah, we would.
No,
we wouldn't.
Because the reason
we
why
would have been shot dead.
Yeah, somebody and my mom
he
said
called it
This is
a day of love. There was nothing lovely about that. There was
Well,
nothing
you ain't
lovely
gonna say
about that. And you out
love.
here scrubbing evidence,
That was
trying to
horrific.
scrub it and make it go away. No, we seen it happen. People scaled the wall. They got in Nancy Pelosi's office, smeared shit and urine in the place, beat police officers over the head with flagpoles.
Killed one of
So
them.
what was lovely about that? There was
Uh,
nothing lovely about that.
Destroyed
you
all
And
got
maybe
public
she's right.
property.
If we would
It
have did
was
that,
not.
it would have been black and brown bodies everywhere.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then
And
he had the nerve also to pardon them.
Yeah.
no,
well,
because
not only that, but it's like even this man that's not having to serve time for all of this shit he's done when he was in the White House and after getting out the White House, he has not had to serve time for none of that. Like that's bullshit. And I agree. I have to agree with Uncle Obama. Cause bitch, had Obama did any of that shit, he would be in jail or somewhere right
Impeached.
now.
they would have
Impeached.
charged him with treason.
They would have charged him with treason. And here's the thing about it, y'all, it's right in our faces. This is why I said everybody named mama, them black, white, brown, Mexican, everybody got to come together at this point because y'all not finna play in our faces. It's not okay. We not finna do this. We not finna play this rich white man card because I promise you, yeah, I'm not gonna. Oh, I shouldn't say this out loud. Y'all gonna keep around. Y'all gonna keep on. And I really just I want somebody to do something. I'm just gonna say that. I just want.
I'm waiting to see if the Simpsons prediction come true tomorrow.
That's all I'm saying, dear. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, dear. Shit.
No, I think we got to go down a little further in the rabbit hole before people come together. It's
You ain't got too
not
much further to go.
exactly.
You ain't got too much further.
You're exact. I would agree with you, brother Kenneth. You are not lying. It's not. We're not far from the absolute bottom of the barrel, but there's still some people yet that it has not happened to in ways that we as black people on here, we know how to survive with less. We know how to tighten up and make it do what it do, whether it's legal or illegal.
But we starting to be affected now. Shit.
Yeah, no, we are.
But we
The
know
whole
what
plan was
struggle
for us
is.
to be
That's what's
affected,
been a
black
part of our
and brown.
history.
But I'm talking about when it comes to the ones that whose
Vouchers.
dollars look like ours and skin of what did you call them earlier? The Caucasians.
Caucasians.
Yeah, when those counterparts whose dollars don't add up like ours are not adding up, when enough of them are affected, because right now it looks like, because now he's catering to them. Oh, we're bringing back all the industrial jobs. That's
And he
the
want to
reason
give
why he wants
reparations
people
to
be
them.
stupid, because that's going to be the only. He wants that to be the only work that we can qualify for. You don't need really even a high school diploma for that industrial age. God knows my father worked 32 years in a steel mill in East Chicago, Indiana, and can't even read his name in boxcar letters. So that's what he wants us to go back to. All us educated Negroes on this panel
Dearest,
is an absolute threat, because you can't make
watch
us
this name. Watch this name, okay? Watch this name that come up on the screen.
Dorinda,
Okay,
give me the pussy in heaven.
What?
Dorinda, I need the pussy in heaven.
What?
I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is. I'm not gonna play with y'all. Oh, I'm not gonna play. Who is?
what's that?
That's
I don't
horrible.
know.
Oh my God.
I don't even know who that is.
Oh my God.
Why would you have a name? Why would you have Bishop Gilder Patterson?
That is horrible.
Why would you do? Why would you do that?
Blasphemous.
That's out of order. Out of order.
But it was funny as hell. I ain't gonna lie.
It was.
How you gonna come on here as Bishop Patterson? That's wrong. Now don't do that.
That is just not nice. That's not nice.
No, it's not.
Oh my God.
We do miss Bishop Patterson. I wish he would come back because
Yeah.
I'm gonna slap you upside the damn head. Talk about you.
certain days that speaking of Bishop G.E. Patterson, there were certain days that God allowed, he has, spoken through Bishop Gilbert R. Patterson and the late elder Kenneth Hagin and Catherine Kuhlman and the late R.W. Schambach about, they prophesied years ago about what was going to take place today. And oh boy, yeah, if you look at the old YouTube clips, I'm like, oh my goodness, that's happening now.
Let me ask a question. How, and this is a question for the people that's in the chats and everything else that know everything. How many of y'all know y'all own state constitution?
Somewhat.
I've read it before.
How many are, no, Kenneth, let's ask an even more inquisitive question. How many are involved and you know what's going on in your local government?
I know what's going on.
I forget, some of y'all don't, because some of y'all still, because y'all still living La Vida Loca. You're still dirty. You ain't got no license. You ain't got no car. You're still dependent on your baby daddy and your baby mama, whomever
Hold on,
else.
Kenneth. Hold on, Kenneth. Wait a minute now.
You are running the peoples down.
Right. Jesus.
And also they would never, for example, they would never been able to handle Reverend Al Sharpton in the White House.
Oh no.
Al don't need to be up there anyway. Al up there for money. I'm just gonna tell you the truth.
Well, you got to
Al up there,
I
baby.
disagree with you
Jackson
with all due
tried it in the
respect.
80s, I think in year 84, and as a child, I was in 4th grade then, knew it wasn't gonna work.
Yeah, I
No,
was
but he
born.
tried in 2005, 2004, but no.
Nobody want no Al. Nobody want Al up there.
But
That
we're
Slick
talking
Rick,
Reverend Al
hey,
Sharpton.
that
yeah,
whole Slick
but
Rick
like I said,
outfit is disqualifying anyway. That slick back.
He knows his thing. He
but
knows
here
his
was the
politics.
thing though.
We're gonna boycott August 28th against Pepsi.
But
So
you gotta understand, back then, they just did not want anybody of a specific religious nature in the White House. I mean, like I said, Jesse Jackson he ran in 80, I think it was 84. And I remember sitting there with my mother watching his speech during the was it the Democratic National Convention or something? I think it was. And he was passionate. But at that time, they didn't even want too many black folks in Congress. So we knew that wasn't gonna work. And we can even go back further. It's the example of women.
what was her name?
They didn't want her, and she was a very educated woman.
Just Shirley. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You got to understand what this country is built on the ideology that white is right and everything else is wrong.
And I'm gonna piggyback off that, and I'm gonna say this for black people. Let me tell y'all add something. We need to stop trying to get in a place to where we feel like white people have to save us at some point.
Ooh,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
We have to get in a point where we realize that we have to be helpers one to another, to ourselves, before we sit up out here and try to be, because this is what we have a problem with as people of color. We always trying to help and do for everybody else, and we forget about our fucking selves, and we looking for somebody to give us a goddamn handout, help us. And then it's like a lot of these folks don't want to help us.
But
And if we look at all the inventions that were created by black people, were taken and stolen from us, relabeled, and put a white person on top of it. Everything that we have done in this country has been taken from us: land, money, cities, towns, all of this stuff. At some point, we have to realize that we have to do this shit ourselves. We were taken from our ancestors. Now I'm Indian and African. So our ancestors were taken from their country. Half of mine was stolen and killed in this country. So at some point, we have got to realize that what we want and what is ours, we're going to have to take it by force. There is going to be some type of fight back, because at some point, we have to realize it's not going to be given. And the people that are in power, because again, like I said, not all white folks is bad and not all black folks is good. But at some point, why is you playing?
We got William McCree, one of the biggest sisters at the Church of God in Christ, walking around here, women weaving his hair and women fainting.
No.
What?
Oh,
Playing.
wow.
What is y'all playing today? Oh
That's
my
all in our face.
I am not here.
Can they play it again?
What happened?
Lord have
Play
mercy.
it again, Mother McCray.
That was so extra.
Wild. Wild.
I'm
That
so,
was wild.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
I forget what I was talking about. Listen, y'all. We're gonna get ready to end this damn show.
I needed that.
we gonna end this show because these folks come out the woodworks now. So listen,
I wanted to say something in terms of healthcare because it's already bad.
What did you come down here for?
Oh yeah.
To get
No.
this Lord. Get see that the Lord tonight.
I'm sorry.
Lord Jesus. That's it.
God bless Andrew.
you know what?
God bless William.
I'm not saying God bless you. No, but
You don't want to curse them. You don't want to curse them. You want to
girls,
bless them.
they be cursing me. You know I'm about to take you off screen now.
No. I said no. I said you don't want to curse them. You want to bless them.
Okay.
Oh,
Bless those that
Anybody else on the panel feel that way?
I'm trying.
Not particularly.
So
Josh, you should know better. I wouldn't say that about you.
No comment.
we're not talking about what you would say about me. We're not talking about that.
They're not the same kind of people.
Oh my
I know.
God.
I know. They totally different. I know.
Oh my God.
I know the deal.
So listen, I really appreciate everybody coming on. Everybody speaking their mind about how they feel about things that are going on, because again, we rarely do this. But I think it's really time for us to really look at ourselves, because in this country, like I said earlier before William Beetlejuice came on, and that is, at some point we got to think about ourselves. I know, the country worried about the Mexicans and all of this stuff like that, but I'll be damned.
I'm only worried about black people. And guess what? If I could interject for just a second.
Go ahead.
We're not going to fix what's going on.
No.
They got to fix what's going on.
Yeah.
We are not going to fix it. We didn't create the mess.
Thank you.
And we're not going to clean it up.
They
going to clean it up, because when they get tired of it, when they start feeling it the way we do, watch the city. It'll change then.
But
that's why April 5th happened.
I mean, that's what I was saying earlier. I mean, we didn't start it. We didn't create the mess. Every time we put our integrity, our money, our dollars, our bodies, our livelihoods on the line, we end up in spaces like this with unsupported when we get to that voting booth. They we have not gotten, well, put it this way, they have not gotten to the bottom of that barrel of feeling it like we historically have felt it.
I see you in the future. I have Alzheimer's.
Who is doing that?
I don't know.
Beyond the grave.
I'm gonna tell you like this, and I agree with what Darius. I agree with what Cynthia is saying. Like, this is not our mess to clean up. I'll be damned if you feel like we got to get out here and do this and do, because we didn't create this mess. Nope. I'm not trying to march, bitch. We shall motherfucking overcome, bitch. Listen here, I love Dr. King. I really do. I love Dr. King, but bitch, we've been overcoming for a long time. I ain't got no problem with them. Don't have no problem with Bernice and all her folks in there. I ain't got no problem. But I feel
Turn the
like
cheek. Turn the other cheek.
yeah, I'm trying to turn the other cheek. At some point, these folks,
Listen,
these people are going to have to clean up the mess that they started. And when they are affected and they feel the effect of what the fuck they did, because again, let's go back. Lake Lanier, they did that bullshit. Oklahoma, they did that bullshit. Rosewood, they did that bullshit. And
the Lane Massacre.
And the many other massacres that have taken place across this country, they did that bullshit. Every time black people, because first of all, we're not a race of people that just got to the point where we're smart and we're educated. Bitch, we've been educated. We've been smart. We've been doing this. We've been building communities. We didn't just start this. We've been doing this. Before our narrow asses got brought across the waters, we've been doing this. Our ancestors that were here in America, we've been doing this. Bitch,
now, how can you cancel Black history? How can you cancel Black history?
Oh my
God. Favorably in it.
When you have people that are in office that have people that sit on these boards and they get your curriculum map and they say, oh, you're going to teach science and you're going to teach social studies, but I want you to hit social studies after the month of February. That's how.
Every day is Black history for us. We're living Black history. We're
what did McDonald's say? 365.
We are history.
I agree, but we don't look at it that way. And what we need to start doing is teaching it our own history at home. You know what?
Yes. And that's how my mother started with me at a very young age, 6, 7 years old, teaching me Black history about our African American culture, our heritage, and that we should be proud. We should be proud, and we add on to the legacy every day. We add on.
Is that William?
No,
please, no, please, no. Please.
Oh, I hope it is.
If it is, I can give him the name of my dermatologist because that skin is a mess these days.
Oh my God.
That skin is from beyond the grave.
Honey, because the face card never declines, makeup or no makeup.
Because that pretty boy stuff ain't working.
That's
not at all.
Giving tails from the crypt. That's the crypt people,
honey. And they be wanting me to drag him again so bad. I'm like, y'all.
Just pray for his deliverance and healing and restoration.
That's like Beetlejuice meeting Howdy Doody.
On that note, since Xavier wants to be so next to the Lord, listen, y'all, I have enjoyed y'all for being on here.
I love you, Jobs.
I love you too. I have enjoyed you all coming on, everybody giving their perspectives. Thank you to Will. Thank you to Jess for coming on. I've enjoyed everything. Stevie, thank you. You know, it's always a pleasure, sister, when you come on. Yeah. My brother Darius, Marcus, Kenneth, Xavier, Cynthia, thank y'all so much for coming on today. I would love to do more town hall meetings like this.
Come on, town hall.
Yeah, town hall meetings like this, because again, we need to hear what how we feel about these things, because again, we are ultimately the ones that are being affected. You know, all of this stuff is aimed at us. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
why don't we get some of why don't we get some of the preachers on here, some of the bishops?
Girl, they too scared of me. They too scared of me.
They don't love jabs like that. He ain't got no love.
I'm gonna tell you why. They don't want the heat. They don't want the heat, baby. It's hot.
Oh, it's real
hot. They don't want the heat.
They don't want the heat. Oh, please.
Really?
Well, see, here's the thing. Okay, so
I'll want his smoke.
I'll tell you this, David. The reason why these preachers would rather go to certain platforms, a lot of them really won't go to Larry either, because he's full of bullshit. But a lot of these preachers will go to these platforms where nobody's going to check them. And I really, honestly, whether I had a conversation with Bishop Porter, Jamal Bryant, Bishop Sheard, any of them, like when it comes, like what people don't, I know how to handle a show. They don't want to be checked. They don't want to be chastised. They don't want to be held accountable for things that they're doing. So it's like they'd rather not show up. They'd rather go to people who will kiss their ass.
Yes, men and women.
And,
Honestly, yes.
and that's what it's going to be.
Kiss
That's what it's
it
going to be.
kiss it and lick it, if you ask me.
Oh, Jesus.
Because definitely, if they ever decided to set foot over here, I have a lot of questions. I really do. If any one of them ever decided they wanted to set foot in your platform, if you opened up the door for them, I would come on. And I'm not even a Kojic member, never have been, but I know too much about them, and I have questions.
I'm a Kojic member, but for
He's
years,
a virtual coaching member. Child, go
Listen, I also grew up listening and watching Kojic from the outside in. So Kojic and Cool JC at the same time.
And you still want some?
I wanted to be Kojic in the 90s because that's when it was on and popping.
It was. It really was.
I was watching Convocation. Anything I get my hands on with Kojic in the 90s because, baby, the choir
was different.
It was a deal back then.
All the fine men didn't know there were a lot of them were queens, but yeah.
No.
And the women were the kings.
What are we doing?
I did watch the old Holy Convocations, and it's a difference back then than it is today.
Listen,
the Holy Spirit was there. Today,
Yes.
they're just having a meeting. They're a grand old party of religious meters.
I think Josh says it's not Church of God in Christ. It's Church of God in what? Clark's.
It's Church of God in Clark's.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Don't forget cash. Don't forget cash.
The hats.
Church of God in Cash, right? Church of God in Cash.
Church of God in Christ, Church of Days in Christ,
Yes.
Church of God in Clark's, all the things.
Y'all ain't hear this from me, but I seen Don Shelby and Bishop Porter in the bed last night. Y'all ain't hear that from me, though, y'all.
Wait a minute, what?
I seen Bishop Porter and Bishop Don Shelby walk into a hotel room the other night at the spring call. Y'all ain't hear that from me. Be blessed.
Oh, bye.
Oh my God, brother,
you in trouble.
I know you know who that is.
Huh?
I know you know who that is. I know you know that voice.
We'll talk after this.
Okay.
Well, hold on for a minute. If you there reporting and you're doing all the looking, baby, honey, why are you there?
Literally.
Why are you there? You the mandated reporter. Are you getting some too, boo?
Oh, good night.
Now, see, I asked the questions.
You know Dorinda got a big old booty. It's just there.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Oh!
Lord have mercy.
Lord help me.
Jesus.
Dorinda booty just big, and I like it.
You know what? I'm not
No.
I hope this is not who I think it is.
You know who it is, brother.
Bishop Patterson liked it too. He wanted a piece.
I'm not gonna play. Listen, y'all. Listen, it's been real. I want to say that, yo.
Lord, forgive me for laughing.
Let the church say yeah.
Bye, y'all.
I can't.